All right, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy Rob Easy, always making things easy, and welcome to the Wii U Mad podcast. I'm joined by Tavis. Say hi, Tavis.
Hola, señoritas and señores.
All right, so we're gonna give our pre-E3 predictions on what's going to be happening this year. If you haven't watched the video with where I talk about the E3 predictions with Matt and our special guest Jordan, you can link somewhere in the description below. But I'm going to be talking with Tavis real quick to get his thoughts. I didn't want to leave him out. So, Tavis, let's start with the Oculus conference that just happened yesterday. Basically, Oculus is going to be uh, having a bundle with the Xbox One, and it'll come with the headset and the console and the Xbox controller. I can't remember the price off the top of my head. I didn't think it was that much than the typical bundle for the Xbox One, but what do you think about the Oculus so far?
Well, I have like this. My feelings towards Oculus. It's really just my feelings towards VR in general. And personally, I don't think they're gonna succeed because virtual reality isn't in the point. At least in terms of gaming, it's not at a point where it's a practical way to play games yet.
Yeah,
And I personally don't think that the Oculus is gonna suddenly change my mind on that. If it does, great, but so far I don't think the Oculus or Project Morpheus or any of that's really gonna, you know, change my view on virtual reality gaming.
yeah. The only issue I see with the headset is just it'll probably be uncomfortable to wear after a certain period of time. Probably will vary from person to person, but I don't know. It's still a work in progress, I think, but it's a step in the right direction for what their vision is for virtual reality gaming.
To me, it's just I honestly feel like it's just a cash grab for the children. Not that it's a kiddie device, but it's a gimmicky device. And if someone, you know, let's say I'm 9 and I see, oh, virtual reality, it's gonna be like I'm really in the game, and then you know a lot of the kids will flock to it, and then they'll realize it's not what it's up to live. It's not living up to what they expect it to be, and then it's just gonna flop because no one's really gonna want it.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Family matters.
Oh, yeah, it's all right.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on from the Oculus conference, this coming Sunday on the 14th is the Super Smash Brothers event that's going to be presented by Masahiro Sakurai. We're definitely going to see what Lucas will bring to the table, uh, as he'll be available on that day. And there's also going to be a new stage called Miiverse, and the new Mii Fighter costumes inspired by Splatoon. And there may be a hidden character to be revealed for future DLC. Who do you think it's going to be, Tavis?
Um, Before I go into that, I kind of just want to preface some of the comments that you said there. With Lucas, we already know he's coming. That he'll be out that day. Same thing with the Miiverse, because if I recall correct, I believe the Miiverse was that's like the stage with like a bunch of pictures in the background, and it has like the battlefield layout.
Yeah,
If I'm not okay, that stage I'm excited to see because a lot of the stages in Smash are like I don't want to say gimmicky because I mean they're they're meant for a different audience. That's what I'll say.
yeah,
Uh,
I can see
so
that.
um, personally, I'm excited because that looks like a stage that's it'll be something different from you know BF and Final Destination and Smashville all
Right.
the time. And could you give me the second to last last announcement that Nintendo made regarding the direct for Smash?
Oh, it's just they're gonna talk about like the Mii Fighter costumes inspired by Splatoon.
Oh yeah, I have the costume already because I think if you at least if it's the one I'm thinking of, um if you is it the same costume that you get if you were to pre-order the Splatoon game from GameStop? Because
Uh,
cause if it's that one, then I think I already have it, and it looks hideous, and I, it's horrible. They look creepy, to be honest.
yeah, they kind of do.
Yeah,
and
they look creepy.
if
Like I
you,
feel like they could have done a way better job in designing it because they look weird.
yeah, if you thought Mii's were creepy before, whew, you ain't gonna like
Yeah,
this one.
like it. I don't I don't personally like it. If it's the same one that we're talking about from the Splatoon pre-order, because I know a lot of companies like to give people opportunities who didn't pre-order to get the content. So it might be one of those situations where if you didn't pre-order Splatoon, then you can get it now.
Yeah,
Uh, and for the next Smash character, fingers crossed that it's Ice Climbers because I love Ice Climbers, regardless of how many people complain about wobbling. Uh, it's proving you don't have to wobble to win. But
well, yeah, 'cause especially since he's not wobbling anymore.
well, I mean, in Melee there was ways to win in without wobbling, like with Fly on Manita. He used to win. He got top 8 at Evo without wobbling. I think he
Yeah,
wobbled once the entire tournament. Actually, I don't think he wobbled at all the entire tournament. I can only recall like one situation where I've actually seen Fly on Manita wobble. And then in Brawl, like it had a lot of chain grab setups and instant kills basically. And I feel like in this iteration of Smash, this could be a good opportunity to make Ice Climbers a very fun character again, and not just I don't want to say brain dead because I mean wobbling is hard to learn, but
true.
it to be honest, as someone who used to play Ice Climbers, it does become kind of brain dead once you learn how to do it. Um, so fingers crossed that it's Ice Climbers. But I'd like to see other characters like Crystal, Star Fox, or King K. Rool, or maybe Inklings. But it's probably just gonna end up being like whatever character ended up landing the number one spot in the Smash ballot.
Yeah, hopefully they'll maybe touch on that. See how the voting's going as far as which character the people really want to see the most from the Smash ballot so far. Um, I'm thinking it's either going to be Roy or Ryu, and I'm thinking it's mainly going to be Roy because I'm. It would be a good timing to delay Ryu for Evo this year, since
It would
Nintendo's one
actually
of the
make a lot of
sponsors.
it'd make a lot of sense for Roy to be there because they're probably gonna give more information about the new Fire Emblem. They're definitely gonna give more information about Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem because that looks like a game that's really came along well in these past few years when we saw it in the direct. Um, so I personally feel like Roy is a good prediction for the slot that they're probably gonna end up revealing. If I had
Yeah,
to put my money on it, it'd be Roy. But if I had to put my heart in it, it'd be Ice Climbers.
yeah. Uh, I guess we can move on to the Nintendo World Championships, making their return after 25 years. It's going to be interesting. I'm not sure exactly what to expect from it. There's some notable speed runners that are going to be part of it, such as Trihex, Cosmo. Uh,
Yeet.
forget who else. Oh, and he's not a speedrunner, but you know him well. It's Egoraptor. So,
I I honestly I feel bad for him, but I haven't heard him. The only one that I've heard of is Cosmo. 'Cause I know he used to play Smash, and I used to watch a couple of his speed runs. I remember he like finished. I want to say Super Mario World in like 16 minutes.
yeah. And one of the games that has been confirmed so far is The Legend of Zelda. That's going to be part of the competition. I also heard Splatoon and uh,
Any Dr. Mario?
I'm not sure. It just says there's a mix of other modern and classic Nintendo games, so We'll see. What are your thoughts on the championships? Think it'll be hype?
I'm I'm hoping that we'll be able to see some high level Splatoon play. I'm not
Yeah.
really expecting it because Splatoon's still a new game.
Right.
Um, and it still has a lot of room to grow. Because to be honest, if Dr. Mario isn't there, I'm not really interested in anything else but Splatoon if Dr. Mario isn't there. But
Yeah.
not to poop on any of the other games. It's just my personal preference.
Yeah.
Um, but if I can see some legitimate high level Splatoon play, I'll be satisfied. But like I said, the game is new, and a lot of advanced techniques are still being figured out. And like I said, the game has a lot of room to grow. And I remember a few months ago, our co-host Matt was telling us, that it's going to be the melee of shooters, and I'm starting to see what he means by that because,
Yeah.
we're seeing all these, innovative ways to play. Like, I was playing a match a few days ago, and there was, oh man, there was there was this. Remember, like back in the beginning, where the game had like first dropped, and everyone was complaining about splat rollers.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I was in a game like where I want to say it was like I was using a dual spelter, and like the rest of my team was like Splattershot Juniors and all those other submachine guns, and the rest of the team, the other team, I believe, was like three splat rollers and like one arrow. It's like
Arrow
arrow
spray.
arrow spray. I was about to say arrow blade, but yeah, we ended up winning the match, and it just shows that the not the company, but Nintendo is doing a great job with seeing what the community wants, and they were able to like shut down. Well, the game was able to grow and adapt, and the players who actively play it was able to adapt, and now it's not really as a powerful quote unquote weapon as it was during launch because we're seeing players adapt, and the game is growing, and that was something that was done in Melee, where in the beginning of Melee, everyone was complaining about how Link's down throw into up B was so OP somehow, but now you don't even hear anything about it, you
No,
know.
no. You don't even hear
So
about Link anymore.
yeah, it like the only Link player I can think of is Germ from NorCal, and he doesn't do as well as he used to.
All right, so moving on from that, we're gonna have a Bethesda conference for the first time at E3, and that's going to be a little bit later after the championships. And the titles confirmed to appear are Doom and Fallout 4 so far,
Ah,
and maybe an appearance uh, from Elder Scrolls Online or Battlecry, or maybe even Dishonored. What are your thoughts on uh, the first Bethesda conference?
well, to be honest, I really haven't played a lot of Bethesda games because they just don't interest me. But I acknowledge that there is a fan base there that really likes their games, and um, I can see that. But for me, I'm personally excited for hopefully Dishonored 2 because I did enjoy Dishonored 1. That was like the only Bethesda game that I did play because quite frankly, Doom and Fallout, you know, Elder Scrolls, those are just never games that really tickled my fancy because I've always been, sort of the fantasy type of guy.
Yeah,
Um, and those games just haven't really interested me. But I acknowledge that people like those games, and it sounds like it's going to be a great conference for the people who do like those games. And my hats off to Bethesda because they're definitely keeping their fan base happy with a lot of new and great content.
yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I don't have any vested interest in Bethesda personally, but it'll be interesting to look at.
I do have one shout out that I do want to give Bethesda for. It's
All right.
because Bethesda is one of the few developers that is finally letting the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 go. And I'm so happy that they're willing to take that risk, because companies like Activision are just not, they're not willing to take that risk and leave the seventh generation behind. And I want to give kudos to Bethesda for leaving it behind and moving forward, because all we're doing is holding the quote unquote next gen, which is with the current gen games, back by worrying about these last gen ports, you know? And I really just want for future developers to look what they did and really just follow suit, because this Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 is going to continue to hold it back if we don't leave it behind.
Yeah, I could see that. All right, so now we have for the next day we have Microsoft's conference starting off.
I have a lot to say about Microsoft. A lot. A lot, a lot, a lot.
All right, so confirmed to appear are Forza Motorsport 6, Halo 5 Guardians, Rise of the Tomb Raider, a new project from Rare, a new IP.
Ah,
uh,
this sounds good so far.
Next, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, a new project from an indie studio called Grip Games.
This sounds great. I like the sound of this.
And there could be an appearance of Gears of War.
As far as I'm concerned, that's confirmed, man. There's no way they're not going to show Gears. No way.
No, unfortunate.
Not
sorry.
Oh no, you're good. You're fine.
Unfortunately, Crackdown, Quantum Break, and Scalebound won't be at E3. They're going to be shown at this year's Gamescom.
Wait, Quantum Break's not going to be there?
No.
That surprises me, because I remember seeing it. It looks like it was almost done.
Yeah.
That surprises me.
So what do you think Rare's new project could be?
I'm not really sure about what it could be. Hopefully, I'm hoping it's Banjo Kazooie. You know, I'd like to see them make a comeback, but if they're either gonna, at least to me, if I'm looking at it from a pure business perspective,
Yeah.
it's gonna be one of two things. It's either gonna be Perfect Dark reboot, because you know it's a shooter and it does have a following. You know, people would buy a new Perfect Dark if it was good. You know, the one that we got on Xbox 360, I'm sorry, but it was just an injustice to the series. And if it's not that, then we're probably just gonna end up getting a brand new IP. And if you look at what Microsoft has been doing with Rare, it kind of seems like they're getting kind of like the darker games from Rare. Like, I don't want to say Killer Instinct is dark, but it's not a bright game like a Banjo Kazooie or you know something like that.
True.
So it seems like they're really getting these. I don't like using the term dark because it's kind of vague and it's kind of a lame term to use. But
Yeah.
that's the only word that can come to mind right now is dark. You know, they're either gonna like really change up a lot of these IPs, make them darker, quote unquote, or they're just gonna make a brand new IP. But I'm ready. Oh man, this sounds amazing so far. I'm really excited to see this. Really excited.
Yeah, I mean, it'll certainly be interesting to watch the conference. I thought last year's was decent, so hopefully expect probably the same thing or possibly a little bit better.
Right now,
yeah,
I just have to say that the entire gaming community, I feel, needs to give a standing ovation to Phil Spencer, because if Don Matrick was still the head of the Xbox division at Microsoft, we would not be seeing the current future that we're seeing right now with the Xbox One. You know,
yeah.
like the Xbox One now compared to what it would have been is completely different. And I feel like Phil Spencer, you know, Microsoft's decision to put Phil Spencer as the head of the Xbox division when Don Matrick left was the greatest decision in the history of that company outside of the invention of Windows 7. But outside of that, give a standing ovation to Phil Spencer, everyone. And man, I have a I have a article that I wrote. Never,
Yeah.
I haven't published it, but I have an article that I wrote about Microsoft, and I'll just can we put it in the description?
Oh yeah, sure. You can do that.
Okay, I'll just put everything in the description because I don't want to take an hour and a half talking about Phil Spencer and Microsoft. So I'll just put
Right.
my thoughts on that in the description.
All right. So next we have EA's conference. Of course, you're gonna have your yearly sports game talk, and also confirmed is footage from Star Wars Battlefront, Need for Speed, and the new Mirror's Edge.
Can I go ahead and go first if that's fine?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we all know last year EA's conference was easily the worst conference out of every conference that was there. It was worse than Microsoft's, it was worse than Sony's, it was definitely worse than Nintendo's because Nintendo had like the best E3
Yeah.
experience all last year. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry, but better than well, excuse me, worse than literally everybody. I could have went up there with very little gaming experience in terms of making games and announcing games, and I probably could have still put up a better show than what EA did because theirs was utter garbage. I'm sorry, it was trash. The only game that we got out of it last year was Battlefield Hardline. That was it. Everything else was bad because it was either a sports game or it was a game that we're not going to see until either really late in this year or sometime next year. Because right now, like, all I'm expecting to see is Madden 16 with Jameis Winston, and we'll see Mirror's Edge 2, but I guarantee you we're not going to see that until at least early 2016, because if it was that far along in development, we would have heard way more news about it by now. Same thing with Star Wars Battlefront, and if they even have a chance of being released this year, they need to talk about them now. They need to start talking about these games from E3 on down. And I'm sorry, but EA has a lot of work to do if they want to have at least a decent conference this year because last year's was so bad, so
Yeah.
bad.
I remember it was like half of it was just sports talk. Like,
Like
ugh.
it was bad. Like don't get me wrong, I I I. I'm excited to see Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota and all these guys and glorious 1080p 60 frames per second. Because I like football. You know I'm American. I like football, but you don't need to spend no more than 3 minutes on football because most of the consumers that are watching E3 don't care about football, for that long. Because
Right.
most people who are gonna buy Madden, you know, a lot of them don't even watch E3. My brother loves Madden. My brother doesn't even know what E3 is. They don't need to spend time on these games that not very many people are gonna care about. You know, show us Mirror's Edge 2, show us Star Wars Battlefront, show us Mass Effect 4, show us the new BioWare IP, show us what we want. Because right now, I am not giving EA a dime. If I buy any of the new sports games, they're gonna be used because I refuse to give them a dime of my money. Especially with oh my goodness, I can go on forever for EA. I'll end
Yeah.
it there. I
Yeah,
don't
let's
need
just end it there. Let's go to Ubisoft now. And of course, Aisha Tyler is going to be presenting again. We got confirmed appearances for Assassin's Creed Syndicate, The Division, and Rainbow Six Siege. Maybe a surprise title to end the conference. So,
God.
thoughts on that?
Well, last year, I felt like Ubisoft actually did all right. They didn't do bad at all. It wasn't amazing, awesome, but it wasn't, trash. It was a decent conference. They don't really have a lot of expectations to live up to this year. The biggest issue that they had last year was just they didn't have a lot of games to show. Like they had
Right.
like the fitness games. They have like the Tom Clancy games, and I think they announced like I want to say they announced like a Rayman port to a console. I can't remember. They didn't have a whole lot of stuff last year, but what they did, they had Far Cry 4 too, but they had good stuff, but it just wasn't a lot of good stuff. And this year, they don't really need to try too hard. Just, show us some new games, give us some more details on the new Tom Clancy games, because those are looking like they're going to be their big money makers right now. So
Yeah,
they don't have to try. They don't have to
Rainbow
try
Six
too.
Siege looks really good right now.
Rainbow Six, and personally, I'm excited for the Division. Hopefully, they don't announce something crazy that's gonna, you know, keep me from buying the game. Like, I remember last year people were going on a rampant about, graphics got downscaled. That's not a huge issue for me. I'm not too big on the graphics, so as long as the game isn't an 8-bit form on a next gen console, I'm fine on that. You know. As long as they give us more details, an actual release date would be great. You know, but my biggest one is that they don't need to try hard. Like if they try too hard, you know, they they're gonna kill their conference if they try too hard. Just give us what we want and deliver the goods. And um, Aisha Tyler, I like Aisha Tyler. She's a good, personality. But my only issue with her is that like she just tries too hard to be like a huge, super bad gamer girl. Like the cussing on
Yeah,
stage last year was kind of unnecessary, and it just doesn't resonate well. So I don't think she should really. As long as I don't think she needs to try so hard. She's doing too much to me.
yeah, I agree. I mean, I like her as a comedian, but she does come off as try hard whenever she's
Yeah.
presenting. But moving on from Ubisoft's conference, we got Sony's conference. Uh, Definitely appearing at the conference is Street Fighter V. That'll
Okay.
be interesting. Got some likely appearances for. It's pretty much confirmed, but the new Ratchet and Clank's going to be shown. Also, Uncharted 4.
Uncharted 4 is gonna be there.
It's likely,
I
as well
thought
as
they.
as
I
well as the
thought
Nathan
Naughty
Drake
Dog
collection.
announced. I thought Naughty Dog announced that Uncharted 4 wasn't gonna be there.
Maybe,
I'm,
maybe I don't know.
I'll look it up later. But carry on. You were saying?
Uh, Probably an appearance from Gran Turismo 7, maybe Dark Souls 3. I'm doubting that, and Persona 5 maybe. And then everybody's expecting Last Guardian to maybe show up as a teaser. So, thoughts on potential Sony conference?
Well, I'll go and have like a quick sentence on the Sony, the PlayStation as a whole for me,
Yeah,
and then I'll go into the conference. For me personally, this is like Sony's last attempt to get me to buy a PlayStation 4, because what Microsoft is offering right now is really making me lean over to their side as my secondary console, because right now I'm pretty much only playing on my Wii U. Um, I'm playing a lot of Splatoon lately, and right now Microsoft is really making me, want to go back to their side. Um, because what Sony's offering is just not, it's not enough, and I feel like they're getting lazy. That's just me. Now, for the conference itself, um, they last year it was just underwhelming. They
yeah, it
spent
was.
they spent way too much time on games that were on the PS3 and PlayStation 4. So they gave no reason for people like me to buy a PlayStation 4. Like if Little Big Planet 3 was a PS4 exclusive, I'd have a PS3 or I mean, excuse me, a PlayStation 4 right now. But since Little Big Planet's on the PlayStation 3, I have no real incentive to grab one. Same thing with Persona 5. Persona 5 is coming to the PS3, so that's not really giving me a huge incentive to get one. It's I would like for them to finally give me a reason to buy a PlayStation 4, because last year they did way too much. They did way too much talking and not enough games. Like the only thing they showed last year was, I believe they showed Order, they showed No Man's Sky, they showed Uncharted 4 and Bloodborne. And
Yeah.
those are the only 4 games that were, you know, for the PS4, like only. And when well really No Man's Sky is coming to PC too, so I don't even know that entirely counts. But
Yeah.
so this is really Sony's last chance, and it would really make me, hurt because I've owned every single PlayStation console up to the PS4, and so far they've disappointed me, and I really hope they stop getting lazy. And concerning the last Guardian rumor, no one, please, no one really get hyped for that because that happens. This rumor comes out every year, right? Every single year. Except last year, because last year the rumor was that it got canceled, and then Sony came out and said that it wasn't canceled. But
Yeah.
every year before last year would be like, Last Guardian's coming, Last Guardian's coming, and don't believe the rumor until it actually happens. That's how I feel, anyway.
Yeah. All right. So the next day after Sony Conference, we got Nintendo, uh,
The defending champions.
the defending champs. Uh, Definitely appearing is Mario Maker. Uh, we may have some likely appearances from, well, not, I'm sure it's going to make an appearance. Devil's Third, Fatal Frame, of course, Fire Emblem, the new Fire Emblem game, Shin Megami Tensei X Fire Emblem, Star Fox, Xenoblade Chronicles X, Yokai Watch, Yoshi's Woolly World, and the potential new Retro Studios game. And there may be a new Paper Mario on Wii U.
Oh, that's new. That's new.
All right, so yeah, I've heard about there might be a new Paper Mario, and I'm hoping, as far as that's concerned, it needs to be like the first 2 games. I will not mind if it's like Super Paper Mario, but don't give me anything like Sticker Star again, please. That's all I'm asking.
Sticker
Just
Star was the 3DS one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't hear too much good stuff about that one.
Yeah. I kind of regret purchasing that. Anyways, I'm excited for Devil's Third. It's looking really good so far. I'm excited for Mario Maker. I can't wait to actually see some gameplay from Star Fox. And hopefully they give release dates for Xenoblade and Star Fox, and a more definite one for Woolly World, because it kept getting pushed back. Now, what do you think Retro Studios' new game will be?
They've been kind of quiet, and personally, I feel like I'm getting sick of Donkey Kong, and a lot of people are getting sick of Donkey Kong, and we want Metroid. Hopefully, they give us Metroid, but I feel like it's gonna be something like brand new, like something that no one's gonna be thinking of. Like it's gonna be something crazy, like maybe like a. It's not gonna be a platformer. It's not even gonna be a FPS. It's not even gonna be a. It's not. I don't think it's even gonna think it's been an RPG. It's gonna be something like a. Huh. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be some sort of adventure game. I don't know, but it's gonna be something brand new, because so far Splatoon did really well, and that was a new IP. So I feel like this is giving Retro a bit more confidence to announce their game. Because I felt like the reason why they were so quiet last year was because, one, they were just coming off of Donkey Kong, and
Right.
two, I feel like they haven't said anything else like at all since February of last year, because they kind of want to see how Splatoon does, and if that does well as a new IP, then that'll give them more confidence and be like, hey, okay, this succeeded. Now our idea will succeed too, because we're Retro Studios, and new IPs are doing well on the Wii U now, so that'll give them a bit more confidence to do something new. And Nintendo doesn't really. Again, it's another one of those companies that don't have to try hard this year. Just
Right.
give us what we want. You know, do the Treehouse again. The Treehouse was, to me, the Treehouse is what won them E3 last year. The Treehouse, hands down, the best thing they gave.
Oh yeah, because it showed so many different things about all the games they revealed.
And some of the games that even wasn't even in the digital event they showed, like they showed Project Steam. Well, I think that's what it's called, Project Steam, right?
No, I think I think they did show Project Steam a little bit, but I think you're referring to the giant robot one, and then the
Yeah, Project Guard and
and
Robot.
Project Guard. Yeah.
Yeah, those two games. Miyamoto just popped up and was like, "Hey, we got these with us too," and they showed them. And Miyamoto talked about Star Fox. He didn't show any gameplay, but he talked about it. You know, Nintendo doesn't have to try hard. They just need to give us what we want. That's it. Because this year they kind of have it locked down for Wii U owners with Xenoblade and Splatoon and Star Fox. Those three games alone is going to be enough to hold many of us down for this year. And Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yeah. As far as Retro Studios' new game, they're kind of hinting at maybe Diddy Kong Racing.
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, it's Donkey Kong again, yeah, but it's Diddy Kong Racing. It's a classic franchise, and even
That's
though like
fun.
I was talking with one of my friends uh, that said he would like some of the old developers to come back and uh, develop the new Diddy Kong Racing, and I'm like, well, dude, like most of them are like split apart because some of them are still at Rare, some of them are working on the new ukulele game, and some of them are at Retro. So I mean, you're not gonna have the entire team just come back just to do this one game, but potentially.
And
But there's so many characters you can choose from now from the Donkey Kong universe that I mean you'll have plenty of variety.
well, to be honest, they could really pick from just. They could really go back and pick Nintendo from the Nintendo universe because they've had Conker there and Banjo there, and those guys had nothing to do with first part. Like it's kind of hard to explain. Like their games were exclusive to Nintendo consoles, but they weren't like owned by Nintendo, right? If I recall correctly, they weren't owned by Nintendo, right?
Yeah, but that's why they won't be in the potential new
Yeah.
game because if you remember, Diddy Kong Racing was on the DS and Banjo wasn't in that game. I think it
Was
was
Conker in?
some. No,
Yeah.
I think it was some other characters.
I remember Wizpig was in there. Wizpig was like the huge boss character, if I recall correctly.
Yeah,
And Timber and Bumper I remember for sure. I don't remember the rest of the cast though. It was like
yeah.
Timber, Bumper, um hold on, I can just look it up.
Yeah,
Well,
why you look it up? If now they're working on two Metroid games right now, but we're not exactly sure if Retro Studios is behind any of them. So that would be interesting, and hopefully they'll peel back the curtain and let us have a teaser trailer or something in regards to maybe those potential Metroid games.
I hope so, because my gamer card is probably gonna get taken for this, but I've never played a Metroid game, and I bought Super Metroid for my Wii U. I just haven't gotten around to playing it yet, and
Man, you need to play it, dude. It's really good.
I haven't gotten around to playing it. Well, I mean, I started it and then I stopped, and I just never went back. But I do intend on going back, and you know, that is a game that I do intend on going back to play. And from what I'm seeing, I can't. Wikipedia doesn't have the names of the characters. It's odd. I can just yeah, that'll work. But
Also, you should also consider picking up Metroid Fusion on Wii U Virtual Console as well.
that's the Game Boy game, right?
Yeah, it's a Game Boy Advance one.
Speaking of the the eShop, they should really. Uh, Here's my odd prediction:
Okay.
GameCube games. Well, let me be more specific with my GameCube games.
Okay.
Probably isn't gonna happen, but I would. My brain would explode if they did this. Super Smash Bros. Melee,
I knew you would say that.
Mario Kart Double Dash, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a 3D. Oh, yeah, okay, I remember. Super Mario Sunshine coming to
Ooh.
the Nintendo Wii U, they're gonna split them up between dates, just like they did with the N64. It's gonna go Super Mario Sunshine, then they're gonna go Double Dash, then they'll go Melee. That is my prediction. I doubt it'll happen, but if they do it, that will make them so much money, especially if they put online capabilities on it. People will flock to the Wii U just to play Melee online. I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Yeah. Uh, I
Overall,
would
though,
like that.
no worries from Nintendo for me.
I would like that, but I'm still holding out hope that a new F-Zero game will be a thing.
For me, I was in the crowd of I want a new FZero, but once we got the there was an indie dev that they're they're still making it, but there's a group of indie dev guys. I forgot the name of the studio, but they're making a spiritual successor to F-Zero, and for me, that was just fine for me because it looked pretty much just like F-Zero. The only thing that it really is missing is characters. But
Oh yeah,
outside of
you're talking about Shinen, right? With the
yeah,
fast racing Neo. Yeah, I'm definitely getting that game. But
for
yeah,
me, it's still kind of. I would like a new F-Zero though because there's just a certain aura about F-Zero that you just can't replicate. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's something that you can't change. I'm okay with if we never get one now because I mean we have that game and that game from what it looks like it's more than enough for me. But I would like a new F-Zero because that aura with F-Zero is just it's something you can't just shake off.
right. Well, let's move on from Nintendo's digital event. Let's go to Square Enix's event. We're definitely having a confirmed appearance of the premiere of Deus Ex: Mankind Divided and Human Head Studios' new project for Squeenix's Shinra Cloud Gaming Service, which I've never heard of. That's weird. Uh, there could be an appearance of Dragon Quest Heroes, or maybe
That
another
was
Hitman game.
Dragon Quest Heroes was the Wii U game that was released only in Japan, right?
Mm,
Because I remember them getting a Dragon Quest on the
I,
Wii U exclusively, but it just never came to the States.
I think you're talking about Dragon Quest X.
Yeah, that's what it is, Dragon Quest X. Okay.
Dragon Quest Heroes is more like a Dynasty Warriors type of game.
Okay. I haven't played a Dragon Quest game. I've always wanted to. I just never. It's just one of those things I just never got around to.
And there could be an appearance of Kingdom Hearts 3. Maybe. We're hoping.
This conference is pretty. I'm sorry, but they're the biggest idiots if they don't say anything about Kingdom Hearts 3 or Final Fantasy 15, especially Final Fantasy 15, because we've clearly seen that this game is, I would say, at least 76% done. And if they have not said anything about it outside of the demo, which, not gonna lie, great demo and an update's coming, but if they're really gonna sit there and not say anything about their two biggest games coming out, they're idiots. If they're going up on the biggest stage in gaming for probably the first time ever, isn't this the first ever Square Enix conference at E3?
Yes, I think so.
For their first time on the greatest stage in gaming, if they go up there and say nothing about Final Fantasy, which is their biggest franchise, and well, I'll say the main Final Fantasy games, not the MMOs, but like the
Right.
pure like JRPG ones, like Final Fantasy 7, uh,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. If
Yeah.
they go up there and say nothing about Final Fantasy 15 and say, well, I'll give them a pass if they don't say anything about Kingdom Hearts 3, because Kingdom Hearts 3 is right now still in really early development, and they've already said they're going to talk about Kingdom Hearts 3 at the new at this year's D23 Expo.
Oh,
So
okay.
so if they don't say anything about Kingdom Hearts 3, I'll give them a pass there because it's still early. It's only 2 years in development now. It's not ready to show in a completely 100% glitch-free form. Because It's just not there yet. So
Right.
if they go up there and say nothing about Final Fantasy 15, they are idiots. I love Square Enix. If you guys saw my recent post, I recently just bought Final Fantasy Tactics, and I have a very deep love for Square Enix, particularly the SquareSoft side. And if they go up there and say nothing about Final Fantasy 15 on the biggest stage of them all, this is like WrestleMania and Super Bowl for video games, and they say nothing,
Yeah.
they're fools. Absolute fools. No doubt about it. They could at least say something about the demo. At least. Bare minimum. If they just talk about the demo, bare minimum, gotta be at least something. Don't go up there and say nothing about your biggest franchise on the biggest stage of gaming. That's the dumbest thing they could do. Absolute dumbest thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure what to expect from the Squeenix conference, but we'll see. We'll see. Now, rounding out the E3 conference this year, we're going to have the PC Gaming Show. It's also their first time. Definitely going to have appearances from AMD, Blizzard. Let's see, other notable ones. Humble Bundle, Microsoft, Squeenix. So, maybe Steam too? I'm not sure. But, what do you... Any thoughts on the PC conference?
First off, shout outs to the Master Race. Second off, I would like to see Steam go up and announce Portal 3. Well, excuse me, Valve go up and announce Portal 3. Even if it was a PC exclusive, which I doubt it'd be a PC exclusive, they made so much money on the console. That would not be wise of them to go up and say and not announce Portal 3 and not say anything for the consoles anyway. That's the only thing I really want. I'd like a new Portal. Portal's fun. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Brain twisting and sometimes assault builder, but fun nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to expect from the PC Gaming Show either, but hopefully they got some interesting stuff going down. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up for our E3 predictions.
There's one more thing.
Yeah.
Capcom is going to be hosting a full day. It's going to be a full day tournament for Street Fighter V, and members of Team Mad Catz, which is like the king of them all, Daigo Imehara and Tokido. Those guys are going to be in Team Mad Catz, and then they have Team Razor that's going to be there, which would be they haven't announced the players in particular, but going off of each team fighting in division, you can kind of give a good idea of who's going to be there. So we're looking at like Daigo, Tokido, Mago. We're looking at Perfect Legends, Fudo, Shin, Gact, all of which amazing Street Fighter players. And we also have Team Evil Geniuses, pretty much the only American team in this, okay? The only American team. And for us, we'll have probably Justin Wong representing PR Balrog, Ricky Ortiz, and K-Brad. So if you're interested in Street Fighter V like me, watch the tournament. It's going to have a lot of high-level play from really good players.
Yep. And also can't wait for Evo this year too. So that's going to be interesting. So we're going to cut it off here for right now. Thank you guys for listening. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace, y'all. I'm out.
Adios.